Let's slow it down. So when we do a cold heart seeker here, all of these spiderlings should take a smack. Hit for 1.5. All the spiderlings are dead. Hey guys, this is Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're back on the test server here. We're going to be testing the changes to HEX. We're going to be looking at the kind of new vault space and see what that's all about. And I'll be able to go through some of the costs of that vault space with you as well. This goes live in the real server, I think, this week, Wednesday or Thursday. We don't know for sure, but probably Thursday in line with the new fusion, I would guess. But yeah, basically want to go into it and just see what these changes are like. I will be playtesting some of the buffed champions tonight on my stream. Also going to be playtesting some of the new champions, which are dropped in a different video. So all of the new champions I've got maxed out on the test server, waiting to be played, basically. So we're going to be trying out a bunch of them. There's some which I'm really excited about, but I'll leave you to watch the other video to kind of check that out. Definitely a damage dealer, which I think could be nuts. Before I quickly get into this, HH Gaming are giving away free stuff. So come and get involved. I will put this link down below. YouTube Rush. I'm trying to replace all of those subs that unsubbed because of my last video where they got a bit butthurt. And this is how we're going to do it. No, this was already running before that. Sorry, this was already running before that. Basically, come to this link here. Sub to both my channel and the HH Gaming channel, which Fiction and Saf run. They do a lot of kind of educational videos for Raid. They do a lot of stuff where they deep dive into patch notes, deep dive into data mine stuff. It's actually really interesting, some of the stuff that they cover. So we're going to have 5 winners for this. All you need to do is come and hit these +1s and getting subbed in. Basically, one winner will get $100 Google Play Store voucher or whatever. One person will get a Clan Boss takeover. So if you're looking to improve your Clan Boss team, someone from the HH Gaming team will do a Clan Boss takeover for you. And there'll be 3 individual coaching sessions, which are like a one-on-one Discord call where we basically 15, 20 minutes talk through your account, talk through what you'd like to improve and try and help you out. So it's free stuff. Get involved if you want to. I will link it down below. Okay, let's get onto this then. So we'll start with the vault. And this is what it looks like now. So you've got your master vault, which we've all had forever, and a reserve vault, which you start off with 10 spaces. So whenever you move someone now, it says, where do you want to move them to? Yeah, so I'm not going to move my Solus. Let's move my Hippo. No gear on the Hippo, that's fine. But my Faceless does have gear on. So I can throw them in the reserve vault. And what it will say is, remove or destroy all equipped gear from the champion to the reserve vault. For some reason, they do not want gear in this vault. They don't want it in there. It's like, no, you're going to lose it all. So if you remove it, obviously you just pay the silver, you take it off. And if you destroy it, it's gone for good. So just be careful. I don't know. I'll try it, I guess, on this. I'm on the test server. Does it give me another warning? No, it's gone. The gear's gone. That's it. If you hit the wrong button, the gear's out of there. So be careful on that. And that basically, I see this once you've maxed it out. And yes, there are gems and stuff involved. I see this as basically the Faction Guardian Vault or a place to store your food. Yeah, your 5-star chickens that you've built up over time, you throw them in the reserve vault so they're not part of your kind of main plans, if you like. So I will be just throwing my Faction Guardian champions in here, the ones that I don't plan to use. That's pretty much what it's for. Now, in the test server at the moment, the costs are wrong around how to update. So I'll go through the costs which have been officially submitted to us right now. So I'm sure some of you, you'll see this as a cash grab. I get it. I get it. It's more gems for stuff that we probably should just have. I get it. All that type of stuff. I will say, though, they could have been greedier, I think. Like, I thought they would be greedier with the cost. Basically, it goes up 4 gems each time. I think that's significantly better. Let me just see. I don't know if I've maxed my stuff out. I think I have, actually. Yeah, I have. I think it's significantly better than it normally is. You know, like 30 gems, 36, 40, 44, up to a maximum of 376 gems. It's still a lot of gems, right? It's still a lot. If you're a free-to-player, then you probably won't want to do this anyway. Like the free-to-player argument for me is like, well, if you're at the point where you're doing this, damn, it's, you know, you've come a long way in the game. My free-to-play account, for example, I'll show you it now. I'm 140 odd days in. Let's see how much of my vault space is actually open. Let me play, game. Let me play. So I've opened up 110 slots and 120 so far. So if I was to open up another 10, it's going to cost me 110 gems at this point. Whereas if I'm on the new mode and I just open up the extra vault space, it's significantly cheaper. So I actually think from a free-to-play perspective, what you actually do is you spread your space across the 3 areas instead of like honing in on the main, then on the vault, then on the reserve vault. I actually think because it's cheaper earlier, you just kind of spread by is what I would do. But still, it is costing you gems. Some people are going to be unhappy with that. I think they could have been a lot worse than it is. We get 300 slots on champions where you cannot put gear on them. That's the low and hold of it. And it's pretty much as a response to people saying, where's the space for our faction guardians? That's it. That's basically it. I think it's weird, though, that you cannot put anyone with gear in there. For me, I just think that makes no sense. Albeit, if you want to do a quick gear rip from, 10 players, 10 champions, I guess you could just be like, you know what? You're all going in. I want that gear off really quick. Put them in a reserve vault. Remove the gear. And then the gear hits your inventory. Now, question I've got, actually. Yeah, this is what I was wondering. What if you've got no space for the gear? Maybe it's doing that because I don't have space, or maybe it's doing that because it's just a bit buggy in the test server. But I'm hoping it doesn't ever lose you gear. Maybe that was it. Maybe I just didn't have enough space. Now, they've gone in and they're naked. Okay, so at what point? Let's see. I'm going to try and overflow my inventory and see what happens. Okay, so I've only got like 30 space worth of gear slots right now. I'm throwing loads more people into a reserve vault. Let's see what they do. So it's cost me 11 million to remove this stuff. Oh, yeah, okay. So your storage is full. Sell or equip to make some space. So it just overflows it to the point where it's like, no, there's no more room. Okay, anyway, look. It is what it is. I think it's an okay addition, but nothing more than that. Let's get on to HEX. So a good place to do any of this type of testing is actually in the Doom Tower, because you just get the consistent waves and consistent outputs. So what we're going to do here is we're going to throw our HEX out there, and then a non-HEX champion in my candy is going to come in and do some damage. The way I understood this is that when I hit one of these normal HEX champions, champions with HEX, the rest of the champions take damage. So even if they didn't have HEX on them, they should still take damage. So we go in with our A1, and you see there, I hit for 41k. They all get a non-crit, but 10% of the damage, true damage hit of 10%, because it was a single target hit. That's basically where it was. Can we get an AoE in as well without us dying? So an AoE is going to be 2% of the damage. Just slow this down. So we should hit, pop, and actually, because we've got multiple people with HEX on, we should have just got multiple hits to everybody for like a teeny amount. But actually, when you've got HEX across the board now, it's like having, it's just like having additional passive damage, which is quite cool. I'm going to show you something else now with War Master, which is pretty interesting. So let's come out of this one and take a look. So we'll keep Mithrala in there. Let's bring in just somebody who's got War Master proc to hits from my team. Who's maybe this guy. Because obviously War Master, when you get to higher levels, is a decent amount of damage. So we're going to try and proc a War Master hit with our A1. We got it. And we got an additional 10% of the War Master hit as well. So not only are we spreading damage from our hits, we're also spreading damage from the War Master hits as well. You think about that in Hydra, where you're hitting multiple enemies, you're trying to hit multiple War Master procs. That's actually a decent increase of damage when you've got HEX on your team. I've got to be honest here. I feel like splash damage from HEX was a weird choice. I actually feel like splash damage would have been a better improvement to bombs. Like true damage, splash damage. I've always said, like, bomb going off, to try and enhance its quality, two things. It should do more damage to bosses, straight up. Just should do more damage. Then it's more relevant. but it also should do splash damage to side enemies. Like anyone either side, not the whole team, anyone either side of where the bomb goes off. I felt like there should be splash damage to make bombs a bit more unique and a bit better. Just kind of like an upgrade. So they've kind of done that with HEX. I personally felt like HEX would have been better if it was like when HEX wears off, you get a different debuff, like a daze. Yeah, you think about HEX, you've been hexed. It's almost like you've been cursed. When that curse wears off, you're a bit groggy. Maybe you get a daze. That's what I would have gone with. But I like that they're trying at least to bring it back into the meta. Try and make HEX relevant in the game. It does make some sense. So something I was thinking about running here is, you know, does HEX now become viable for higher level stuff when you're trying to smack Spider? So, you know, if you, let's say we put HEX out AoE again, but then we bring in like a big cold heart smack. Let's get our drop defense and weaken in the team as well. Maybe with our buff to Venus, now that she can do an AoE HP burn that is actually worthwhile. And then you bring a cold heart in. All of a sudden, the cold heart additional damage to Spiderling should be significant, I think. 10% of what she does here. Is that enough to just pop all of the Spiderlings at a high level? So we get HEX everywhere. Drop defense and weaken. Obviously, there's a cap actually on the damage we can do here anyway, but I don't know what level I picked. Did I pick 20? Can't remember. Let's slow it down. So when we do a cold heart Heartseeker here, all of these Spiderlings should take a smack. Hit for 1.5. All the Spiderlings are dead. I think this must be 20. The amount of damage I just did there is 20, but still, that is significant. That's a significant change. It actually empowers some of the champions which are already powerful. Let's see what it looks like on Spider 25. So I feel like it is a good way to bring HEX back into the meta, because at the minute, all the HEX champs, even though they're good, they sit in the vault. Like, you know, you think Ruel, one of the hardest hitters in the game, sits in the vault. Thea, same thing. One of the hardest hitters sits in the vault. Check this out on Spider 25. A Heartseeker pops. It's got capped damage. And we've done, what, 2/3 of the Spiderling's health in damage. So for people that don't have the crazy combos, all that type of stuff, suddenly HEX could become another way to do endgame high-level damage to mobs, to big mobs. So single target hitters could start to become way more relevant. Yeah, the people that do a lot of damage with a single target ability start to become way more relevant, I think. If you've got people like, actually, it's a good example. If you've got someone like a Mashold, whose AoE is actually coded as a single hit, this could be crazy. Same with Sinacia. Her AoE is coded as a single hit on her A1. Same with somebody like Trunda. Her A2 is coded as a single hit, which is nuts. So does that mean that for every single proc that we do of that A1, we get the 10% spillover everywhere? Makes champions like Mashold and, you know, Trundas and that go up in value again. We do the same abilities here. And then Mashold comes in with his True Fear and Leech, gets an extra turn. So now anyone with Leech on will take an A1 from his A1. It's a weak affinity, so it's probably a terrible showcase. But let's just see how many numbers pop on these Spiderlings here. Did get a crit. Look at that. Basically, dead on level 25 stuff. I mean, damn. That's actually pretty cool. That's hard to do. It's hard to clear a wave of Spiderlings on level 25. Like, that is hard to do. Actually, I'll need to test this same stuff. Damn, we're getting excited here. What about if you're just trying to clear a wave on something like Dragon? Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. How good a wave clear can this become? So we get our attack up. Put the HEX out. Actually, I didn't need that. I already had attack up from her. Drop defense and weaken. And now we've got a positive affinity. So we're going to, again, buff us up. Don't forget he gets leech as well. So anyone that he's attacking with this hit to everybody gives him healing. And I guess it will give everybody healing with this sort of combo. So AoE leech, when you're attacking everybody, we should get healing from them all. A1 hits them all for the 10%, and it keeps going across the board.
I need healing.
Look, is it going to completely change the game and that type of stuff? I don't know, honestly, but it definitely opens more opportunity for comps. And, you know, some of these champions that have been sitting on the wayside, probably Mithril is the only Hex champion that's really getting a look in right now. And that's not because of Hex, it's because of her other abilities. So, you know, it feels like this could just open a different door, different opportunity the more we test it out. That's a significant extra amount of damage there. Let's see what Trunda's A2 looks like. This is weak affinity, so it might suck. Let's have a look. I mean, we know Trunda hits hard anyway, but it could be a significant change. I think it could be a significant change, mainly for single target stuff, like those single target champions which just don't really get a look in at the moment. All of a sudden, they've got a chance. Yeah, because their big damage hits could start to spread into other people. And then, you know, 10% of a big damage hit's a decent number, whereas 2% of an AoE is not that much of a big number. So we should probably just test a little bit of arena here just to see if it's going to impact. I think it could impact over time. It might not impact straight away, but I think we just go with something like this. Throw Hex out. It is a hit, so it's going to wake him up. Don't be too awake. Let Trunda have it go. Let Trunda have it go. Let my Trunda hit. Let's try that again. I've slowed Kaimar down. Hopefully this will do the job. Don't cane. Don't cane. Kaimar. Still trying. Okay, let's do it. Trunda. Hit us with the big stuff. So Trunda A2 hits one enemy and obviously gets a chance to do the Hex spread, but then also hits everybody with a single hit. And they're all classed as like single hits. So this can kill people anyway. Kind of want to go for a high HP but low defense type champion. Don't know who that would be on this team. Maybe, I mean, both of these could be both quite tanky and quite high health. So we're going to try it. See what sort of damage this can do. It's the additional damage which we want to see. Would that have killed everyone normally without Hex out? I guess we can try and see. So let's just see the same interaction here, but without the Hex in the mix. So I guess we would have got the shield break from the Hex in the first place, which would have made a bit of a difference, but let's see what happens. I don't know. It's hard to know. I guess slowing it down, playing it over, I'll get to see better, but it does. It's definitely got the ability to be a significant change for certain big hitters in the arena. Okay, I'm just going to try it one more time here on Hydra. So I'm thinking I've basically put everyone in there that's got some sort of War Master ability or something like that, just to give it a look. And let's get a provoke out first, put our speed up, drop the Hex, decrease defense and weaken. We're going to put a Geo burn out over here on the left hand side. So when we take hits, that burn now should hit. Sorry, the reflection I think hits and then spreads. The burn doesn't spread, but I think the reflection of the his kind of passive should spread. Might be wrong. We'll see. Let's get block buffs out. And then basically Tunisia does more damage whenever there's more burns out. Let's just try a smack from Tunisia over here. There's only one burnout, so it won't be crazy, but let's see what this does for the rest. 260. So everyone else is taking 26k. So it basically ups your damage by 30%. Yeah, it's significant. The damage increase is significant. Yeah, you try and spread all your FUD, my friend. It's not working here. And basically, anyone who gets a War Master proc spreads a bit more damage. So an AoE, it's only a small amount, but if it's not an AoE, it's significant amounts. Let's speed it up now. Just additional procs. And if you're hitting that, War Master is hitting it multiple times. I think it could end up being, at least for Hydra, one of the biggest changes in terms of like improving damage numbers. I really do. I think it's like a decent change for Hydra. A1, War Master as well, so everyone else takes the War Master proc. And obviously they then want to cycle back to get it back round again. Try and get some drop speeds out. Full cleanse has come. That's the perfect time for me to about to rotate back to all of my abilities again. Yeah, burns out. Nice. We're just doing the same thing. Doesn't matter. Here comes the Hex. Throw a fresh burn over here. Now that he's cleansed himself. And we should see a lot of damage done. See this? See the damage proc starting to come through? Additional numbers over here. That's all from Geo. Is that Geo plus Hex? I'm not even sure. I'm actually not sure. A3 over here with burns everywhere, which is a single target hit. Because I hit into a shield, I didn't actually do physical damage. I didn't spread anything. That's interesting as well. Even though we did, obviously we did damage, we got into a shield, therefore it didn't spread any damage. So it's going to be a little bit kind of like, you know, there's nuances we need to play around with, but the extra 10% hit across the board is going to be good. It's going to be well worth the change. Will it, like I say, will it get everyone into Hex builds and that type of thing? Maybe not. I think it's got a much better chance. You know, it really is a worthwhile change for this game. And I think people over time, like anything, the more you play around with this stuff, the more chance you've got of finding really cool mechanics that work together. A bit like that Cold Heart Heartseeker. I think there'll be more mechanics like that which start to come out. And I think we might just see a few more single target hitters start to get into teams where they wouldn't have got into them before with Hex stuff going on. So there you go, guys. That's those two updates. Come and join me later on stream. I'll link it down below and you'll be able to see some of the new champion interactions. We'll be able to see the Cupidus buff playing out, the Constantine buff playing out. And yeah, we'll have some fun. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.